Hey guys, it's Aoife and I am here today with my TBR takedown wrap up. So I just did an unboxing video and I thought while I'm here and sitting down in front of the phone I might as well just do my TBR wrap up. So that's what I'm gonna do. So the wrap up went from June 1st to June 7th. And we had different challenges. It was hosted by Shannon over at Leaning Lights, and she is great, so you should go and check her out, and I will link her below. So she gave us loads of cool different challenges for different books to read during the week, and she also gave us different challenges each day, were like giveaway challenges, which was amazing, and I actually ended up winning one of the challenges, which I am incredibly grateful for. You were awesome, Shannon. Thank you so much. So yeah, I will just get down to it now. So the first challenge was to read a book on your TBR that had been on your TBR for over a year, and I chose Legend by Marie Lu. And guys, why haven't I read this book sooner? Oh my god, it was so good, so good. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was absolutely amazing. It just sucked me in straight away. I found the whole build-up of the world that was the kind of dystopian world that was going on in this. I thought the build-up of it was great. The build-up of the characters was great. Day was just such a babe, and I love the fact that he was kind of a mixed ethnicity, and even though he was of mixed ethnicity, I got such a clear image of him in my head. I could picture him every time. And I just know he was just so gorgeous in my head, and he's so gorgeous in the book. And this book, it's I wouldn't say it's incredibly romantic. I mean, the chemistry is definitely there between Day and June. And the whole concept of this is that June is basically she's in the army, kind of a government agent. She's trained to basically take down anyone in her way. She's after this Day person who no one knows who he is, what he looks like. He is just the government's #1 suspect, and as far as June knows, Day killed her brother and she wants to go after him. And then they kind of are in each other's lives, but they don't know who each of them are, and it's just about that, and then different events after that. And it was really good. It was quite fast paced. I really liked it. While June was a little bit harder to like at first, you do warm to her, and I'm kind of thinking in the second and third book we'll kind of get more sides for her, basically, than the kind of colder side that she does portray, where Day was kind of softer, was definitely softer. Considering the life he has led over the past few years, he was actually quite gentle and quite lovely, which was really, really nice. So again, 5 out of 5 stars. If anyone who is a fan of dystopian hasn't read this yet, go and read it. Don't hesitate the way I did with reading it, because it is so good. And then the next book on my list was read a second book in a series on your TBR shelf, and for this one I chose The Heir by Kiera, which is the 4th installment of the Selection series, which is more of a spin-off to that, because that was really just a trilogy. Well, this is the spin-off to what happened in the Selection. So basically, this is about a brand new selection with the next generation of the people from the original Selection. So I really, really like this. I gave it a 4.5 stars. The only reason I didn't give it a 5 stars was because the ending kind of threw me off. I wasn't expecting an ending like that. So I'm going to put a spoiler here. I'm going to put a little thing on the bottom of the screen and let you know when it's not a spoiler. Okay. I didn't realise there would be a next book after this. I thought it would just be a standalone novel, so that's why the ending threw me off so much. I kind of got a bit of a fright. I was like, is that where she's ending it? Is she not going to give us another book? And then I had to go in a mad scramble on Goodreads to try and figure out if there was another book, which it says there is going to be. It's just not even named yet, so I'm not really sure where she is in the works of that book. But generally, I did really like this. I liked Princess Aidlin. I'm not sure if it's Eidlin or Aidlin. I'm just going to say Aidlin because I'm so used to kind of Gaelic spelling here in Ireland that I would read that as Aidlin, where her nickname seems to be Edie, so I'm thinking it's Eidlin. But in my mind it's going to be Aidlin. Let's just rest that there. Aidlin for me. So yeah, I did really like it. I do know that she's kind of annoying to a lot of people, and I think, yes, she is annoying, but I also think she has kind of distanced herself from everyone around her because she knows she's about to be queen, and as far as she knew, she was always going to be doing it on her own, which is why she's quite cold and why she's quite indifferent to people and why she doesn't know how to act around certain types of people. So I think she does have a bit of an excuse, but not a really, really, really good excuse for the way she acts sometimes. So yeah, but I really liked it. 4.5 stars. If anyone who loves the selection hasn't read this yet and is a bit hesitant in picking it up, I would say just go and read it, because you get to revisit some of your favourite old characters in it. You get to see where they are in their lives, and it's just really nice. I love revisiting old characters like that in the future. I think it's great knowing what they've done in their lives. So the next one is a first, I think it was to read a first in a series on your TBR. And for this was another one that I was meaning to pick up for a long time and just hadn't done. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. And again, why haven't I read this sooner? It was so good. Oh my god, I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. So basically it is about Celaena Sardothien, who is an assassin, but she was caught by the king of Adarlan. And she is sent to work in these kind of a prison camp, which is basically a mine, and most people die within their first few months in this mine, but Celaena is pretty hardy, she's pretty stubborn, she won't let herself die. She survives, and she ends up getting approached by the Prince Dorian, about becoming his champion in this big tournament where the ultimate king's champion is going to be chosen. So we meet Prince Dorian, we meet Kale, who is the captain of the guard, and then we meet Celaena obviously as well, and then some other people who aren't going to be really good in the rest of the book. I really enjoyed this. I really like Celaena's character. I thought she was really funny and really witty for someone who'd spent so long kind of almost being beaten and whipped and basically on the brink of death for so long. Her attitude was really good, considering her whole life. Actually, her attitude was really good, and I really liked it. And I've seen some people give out about how she's a bit full of herself, and she knows she's pretty, and how she kind of notices all these different things about the guys, and how she should be more focused on more assassin type things to notice. But in fairness, I've seen so many bookish pet peeves recently where people have given out about characters not being confident and always kind of bring themselves down, and I think we can't really have double standards, guys. She's pretty, she knows she's pretty, and she's rocking it, which I think is the best thing to do. She is rocking her good looks, and she knows how to use them. She knows how to use them to be able to disarm an opponent, which is basically, which she said herself near the start of the book. It's how she learned how to use her looks to her advantage and to aid her job as an assassin, basically. So I found this really exciting. I really liked other characters in it, such as Nehemia, her friend Nehemia in it, which she was great. I thought the subplot, there was kind of a magical, mystical subplot in it, which I thought was brilliant, and that didn't really come into it until a little while, about halfway through the book, when we'd already gotten to grips with Celaena and kind of the world she was living in and the other people. That's when the subplot was introduced, which was a brilliant time to introduce it, because we were ready by then. We were ready for for something cool to happen. So that was really exciting. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars, and I've already ordered Crown of Midnight. And this is a question for people who've already read this. When should I read the Assassin's Blade? I'm thinking I should read it after Crown of Midnight and before the next one then. I think it's Heir of Fire. So I need to get both of them. So I'll see. But I wanted to ask YouTube's opinion first about which one I should read first. So let me know. The Assassin's Blade, Crown of Midnight, or Heir of Fire and then the Assassin's Blade. So please comment down below and let me know, because I really want to know, because I'm really looking forward to reading these books. And I forgot to get my other one out, which is here. The next one I read was something on your TBR, which is kind of out of your comfort zone. And for this, it's not particularly out of my comfort zone, but I chose Ordeal by Linda Lovelace. So basically, I did my thesis in college. I did journalism. I am a journalist now, but I did study journalism in college. And I did my thesis on the sexualization of women in the media. So I looked into I did look into the porn industry, and I looked into kind of lad mags, we'd call them over here and in the UK, but I'm not sure what they're called in America. You know, the magazines that show the naked ladies in them. So disclaimer right now, if you're a mature reader, do not read this. It's very graphic. It's extremely explicit in terms of the abuse that goes on in the porn industry that people probably aren't aware of. So definitely, if you're not into anything like that, do not read this. And if you have any triggers, sexual assault, rape, physical or emotional abuse, manipulation, depression, this book isn't for you. Don't read it. For anyone who thinks they can handle those situations and they want to know more about Linda Lovelace, go for it. Really good book. It's almost one of those books you feel guilty for enjoying, because this was her life. This is an autobiography, and you feel so bad for being so fascinated about these things that really, really happened to her. Really, really awful things like you wouldn't do to a dog was done to her. She was completely abused by basically every man she met from the time she met her boyfriend that brought her into that world. She was just abused by everyone. Everyone let her down again and again and again. And you just have to admire someone like her for getting back up and basically just living her life and not just giving into it and deciding to die. I don't know how she did it. Incredibly strong. She's not alive anymore. She died from a car accident a good few years ago, which is kind of sad. She deserved such a better life than what she got. And just completely fascinating. If anyone is interested in those kind of books, I would give it a read. I can't remember what exactly I gave it on Goodreads, but I think probably 4 out of 5 stars. Really good, disturbing, sad, but I would think it's almost a must read for some people, so they're not going through life blindfolded to different things that are happening in these big industries that people might want to turn a blind eye to. And then the last challenge was to read a book on your TBR from your latest book haul. And I chose Ross Poldark, which is the first of the Poldark series by Winston Graham. And I'm not quite finished it. I have just a little bit left to go, which I'll probably finish tonight. It's an easy enough read. So far, I'm really, really enjoying this. I will be honest, I did already have a lot of opinions about characters in this series because I've watched the BBC series on TV, so I did know a lot of the characters. I did have my opinions on them already, but they didn't really change my opinions, I guess. Demelza in the book has black hair, and Demelza in the TV show has this gorgeous curly red hair, and I kind of really wish she had that gorgeous red curly hair in the book as well, because that's how I imagine her. I imagine her as the girl who played her, because she played her really, really well. Her kind of mischievous, not bratty, but like just this real amazing character. She was just so bright and vibrant, and she's a really fun character. Someone that you think you could have a really good time with. So yeah, and then of course there's my babe Ross Poldark here, and he is exactly like he is in the TV show. Dark, brooding, handsome, kind, downright, throw me on the bed and have your way with me, sexy, that kind of thing. So yeah, I like him a lot, so I can deal with this book. It was originally written in 1945, I think, so it's pretty old. Winston Graham isn't alive anymore. So there are kind of ways that it's written sometimes where it wouldn't be written this way now. If someone was to write the same story again today, it definitely wouldn't be written in the same way. There are certain words that wouldn't be used, but considering it is quite an old story, it is still very, very easy to read, and the characters are still extremely relatable. Different issues that kind of arise every few years in all different countries. Joblessness, poverty, being able to feed your family, worry about that, gambling, losing your first love, continuing to love your first love despite everything, kind of family issues, not being able to marry the person you love because your family disapproves. Like, all these different things happen in this little Cornish town which is a mining town, so it's a kind of very little knit community where people have their prejudice and they have their own ideas about how things should be done. And kind of Ross comes back from the American Revolution. I think he fought in the American Revolution obviously on Britain's side. So he's come back from that a little bit scarred, and he basically just finds out he's coming home to a land where his dad died. He doesn't know what he's coming home to. He thinks he's coming home to his girlfriend. Comes home, finds out that she's married to his cousin, or she's about to get married to his cousin. So that's a bit of a hard blow for him. And he just has to live his life. He just has to go and try and make his estate good again. He has to just continue living and try and get over all that pain. And he does it pretty well. So yeah. If anyone is debating reading this, I would say just go and read it. And if you like these kind of stories that are based in Britain in, you know, the 1800s or so, or historically, definitely go and read it, because it's pretty good. And like, as I said, it's very easy to read, considering it is about 80 years old. Could be less, I'm not sure. So yeah, go and read it. So at the moment, I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5 stars, maybe even 5 stars. I'll see how it ends, but at the moment it's probably averaging a between like a 3.8 to 4 stars for me. I really like it. So yeah, so they are all my books that I read for my TBR takedown. So I'll probably do another weekly wrap up next week, because I think I'm going to do weekly wrap ups instead of monthly wrap ups, because they just get too long otherwise. So yeah, I will see you again soon, and thank you for watching, and I hope you subscribe. So thanks, and I'll see you again next time. So bye.